What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Countdown Scouting Network. I'm your host, Joey Garcia, and today we are breaking down week 5 of college football. Um, we're going to try to make this one a little bit quicker than they have usually been, but let's go ahead and get started. So, we'll start off with the top 25 like we always do, work through those games, and then we'll hit a couple other games that we either watched or saw something interesting in. So, we will start off with the Friday game. I had to go back and watch this because I was coaching a football game. So, Oregon State versus Utah. This was a very defensive game. There was a late in the fourth quarter, a fourth down, fake QB sneak on 4th and inches, toss play that worked perfectly for Oregon State, and that's how they got their 21st point. They got 3 touchdowns in this game. DJ Uiagalelei was, I wouldn't say he was good, but he took what the defense gave him. This is a really good Utah defense. And on the other side, Utah tried to lean on the run like they have been, and Oregon State said, "No, you're going to have to throw it on us to win this game," and they couldn't do it. So Oregon State goes ahead and gets that win, and um, yeah, that's good for them. Next, we'll go to the Florida Kentucky game. This one was rough for me as a Florida fan. That's why they're always up here at the very top. Um, Man, Ray Davis looked really freaking good. Florida's defense didn't want to hit anyone, did not want to wrap up, came out slow, and at that point with this Florida offense, with Graham Mertz, with them wanting to run the ball, it doesn't play well from behind, and Kentucky came out and was very, very dominant. This Ray Davis kid's good. I think he's a redshirt senior, so I don't know how many carries he actually has on him. He was backing up Chris Rodriguez last year, but he runs with urgency. He hits the hole hard. He's got good contact balance. I'm going to have to monitor him a little closer as we continue on with the season. Georgia Auburn. Georgia starts out slow again. This is the 5th game they've started out slow. They've started slow every single game so far. They're just lucky they have a guy named Brock Bowers. Next year, when they don't have Brock Bowers and they don't have Lad McConkey on offense, they might be in trouble unless Carson Beck can kind of step up a little bit more at the beginning of games. Again, I think he's a redshirt freshman. I'm not going to blame him for that. Defense also started out slow. This Hugh Freeze Auburn is going to be really freaking good. The SEC needs to watch out in about 2 years from now when he gets his own guys in there, because he's playing with a bunch of bums, or he's coaching a bunch of bums, and they should have won this game. They just ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. That's really all it came down to. Next, we got Michigan, Nebraska. This Michigan team, again, they've been starting slow, like I said with Georgia, but the last couple weeks, they've hit their stride. J.J. McCarthy doesn't have to do a whole lot. He just has to be a ball contributor. That's it. He's a field general. He's a point guard. Get it out to my guys. Cornelius Johnson was back for this game. Best offensive line in college football, I think. And it showed. I mean, Blake Corum is running hard right now. Blake Corum had another great game. The one guy that I was really excited to see, and I want him to turn it up, is Donovan Edwards, the other running back at Michigan. He hasn't done anything. He's getting stuffed at the line. He's not catching as many passes. He's not as explosive in the open field as he was last year. He's kind of getting his touches taken away, and I don't blame them. Go with the hot hand. Blake Corum's looking really nice right now. Chris Jenkins, their defensive tackle, I mean, he bullied this Nebraska offensive line. Just straight up bullied him. They've got some studs on that defensive side, but Chris Jenkins stood out in front of everyone. Next, we've got Texas versus Kansas. This is a good Kansas team. I was curious to see if they could kind of keep this Texas offense in check, and it couldn't happen. Brooks was a beast. You see it over here, 21 carries, 218 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Quinn Ewers, again, had a nice day. He's had some throw every single game. He's making really good NFL throws, shows he's ready. And then of course he throws some effort balls every single week, which I'm okay with that. But because if not, he's going to be scared to throw some other stuff. But he throws into double coverage every once in a while. He'll throw it up to his receivers. He trusts his guys, you know. Uh, and who's yeah, they got that Mitchell played well. Xavier Worthy, I don't know if he was back. I don't remember seeing him. But again, Quinn Ewers is looking good. Jatavion Sanders. Yeah, Xavier Worthy did play. Jatavion Sanders didn't do much this game. I was wondering if he's might be dealing with some injury or something like that. But um, no, this Texas team's good. I will say this Texas team's good. The only thing I've thought about is Steve Sarkisian the real deal? And so far they haven't had a stinker like I thought they would. So I think this Texas team's legit. This Penn State team I know is legit. Their offensive line's good. They run the freaking ball with Nate Singleton and Katron Allen getting two good running backs in there with Drew Aller who can make the throws. Again, this is his second game in a row though that they just haven't had to throw the ball. He's been under 200 yards, but again, they don't need to. This defense is really good. Um, they got Chop Robinson at defensive end, played another great game. Again, it's Northwestern. Northwestern's always got one or two offensive linemen, but I don't know if they really have a guy this year. And it kind of showed because they were able to get a rush in on Northwestern. That's all I got to say, man. Penn State looks crisp. I got Penn State in my top 3 right now. And I think Texas is moving up as well. I believe in them. This Washington-Arizona game, I said it. Washington and Washington State both have fantastic offenses, but their defenses might cost them games. This defense didn't cost them a game against Washington, but they made it closer than it should have been. Again, Michael Penix played really well. I'm loving what Michael Penix is doing this year. If you don't have him in your Heisman conversation, I'm not really sure what you're doing or what you're talking about. Braylon Trice, the defensive end, is playing really well coming off the edge. Arizona also's got a guy at wide receiver, Jacob Cowing. He's good. He's a little slot receiver. He's probably sub 180 pounds, but he runs really crisp routes. You think about what Tank Dell's doing right now, like a Calvin Austin type. He's not that level of athlete as both of those guys, but it's kind of in the same realm of just what you would expect the player to be. Kind of you can use him as a little bit of a gadget guy, but he runs really crisp routes. Maybe like a Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell's maybe Ronnie Bell from Michigan, who's at San Francisco right now. That might be a better comparison for you guys. USC versus Colorado. This was going to be a shootout. We all knew it was going to be a shootout. Both teams do not have defenses. But Caleb Williams looked nice. 6 touchdowns, 400 yards. Marshawn Lloyd, running back transfer from South Carolina, ran really freaking hard. And of course, Shadur Sanders, again, he fought back. Man, he fought back. He did a good job trying to keep them in this game with a nice fourth quarter rally, and it just wasn't enough. All right, we got Oregon now against Stanford. Stanford's not a very good team this year. I know sometimes they have a good team, sometimes they don't. This is a really, in my opinion, a really bad Stanford team. But that did not stop Bo Nix from being super efficient, getting it to my guy, Troy Franklin. Again, I wish Troy Franklin was a little bit bigger, but he plays big. And what I mean by that is he's not afraid to go up and get the ball. He's not afraid to be physical at the line of scrimmage. I like Troy Franklin, the receiver. Bo Nix is playing really well. And then this Bucky Irving. Again, he's a sub 200-pound back, and he does not play like it. He runs with a lot of power for being I think he's 5'10", 190 pounds or something like that. Number 0. You guys got to watch him when you watch the next Oregon game. Now we got Notre Dame versus Duke. I was very excited about this game. Everyone's talking about Riley Leonard. Sam Hartman is one of my guys. And this Notre Dame tight end has gone off for 2 weeks in a row now. I think he's gone for about 250 yards over the last 2 weeks. And it's against good defenses, Ohio State and now Duke, which Duke has a very solid all around roster. Their offensive line's really good. Barton played well against some of these tough pass rushers. Barton is the left tackle. But Notre Dame, Sam Hartman looked good. Audric Estime is really freaking good, man. This running back, it's a dying breed. Having a very physical running back like that also he's got some burst to him. This class is loaded with a bunch of 220-pound running backs that have burst and can catch the ball. You think about guys like Raheem Rocket Sanders or Estime, or Braylon Allen's another one. Yeah, I guess I don't know. That didn't really prove my point, only being able to name 3 just off the top of my head. But regardless, he's good. Like he's really freaking good. I'm gonna have to do a deep dive on him. I don't know how high up he can go, but I think sky's the limit for him right now. Riley Leonard looked good. He's mobile. He's able to get the ball into tight windows. The only thing is, I just don't see the velocity on his passes that I would hope to. They're kind of, if you look at Tua Tagovailoa, his passes are, he's accurate, but it's you never see him missile a ball in there. You watch Cam Ward from Washington State, he missiles balls in there. I don't know. So that's one thing. Is his arm strength there? Even if it's not, he's mobile enough. He's a bigger body guy. And it looks like he reads the defense fairly well. From what I see, again, I'm not breaking down the tape right now, but that's kind of what I see. He did get, I think, an ankle injury this game. I don't know if he's out for the rest of the season, but we'll have to monitor that. If so, Duke might be done for this year because he has been carrying that team, that offense at least. Alabama, Mississippi State. I was excited for this one. I wanted to see what Mississippi State could do. They got this running back that everyone's been talking up. Again, he's a bigger body back that can pass protect. Don't remember his name. Marks, maybe? Yeah. Jaquavius Marks. Everyone's talking about Jaquavius Marks. He's someone I want to do a deep dive on. I didn't get to actually watch this game, but I got to watch some of the highlights. And basically, their defense is very physical. Alabama's defense played very physical. Jalen Milroe loves to run the ball. And if you get him on the move, you get him running. That's how you have to play this game for this offense to work, is to be able to get him moving side to side, get him on rollouts to throw the ball, get him running the ball, and that's going to make the offense comfortable. And Mississippi State, I guess they didn't understand that, or they just weren't able to stop Milroe because he kind of killed him on the ground and ended up winning that game. J.C. Latham is an offensive lineman for Alabama. People keep talking about. I haven't seen him do anything crazy, but I also haven't seen him get beat. So I'm just gonna throw the name out there. Kool-Aid McKinstry also is a guy who, just watching the tape, I haven't seen him get burnt or anything like that. So that's good. Just watching the games, not watching the tape. I haven't gone back and done a deep dive on them yet because I prefer not to watch Alabama as a Florida Gator fan. Let's go to LSU, Ole Miss. Ole Miss ends up winning this game. LSU is just, I don't know. I think LSU is really good. They've got a bunch of NFL. Their team's loaded with NFL talent, but they just got kind of dominated physically in this game. And you can't be dominated by Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a spread, not air raid, but it's a spread them out, get athletes in space type offense. It's not physical, and you guys are just getting. Honestly, I don't really know what to say to LSU right now. I'm confused by them. I don't know. Malik Neighbors still looks good, so that's always a good thing. Jalen Daniels is just Jaden Daniels. He looks good and he looks bad all at the same time. That's kind of how I'll wrap that up. This Quentin Judkins, running back from Ole Miss, is a true sophomore. and he's dominant. So next year we're definitely gonna have to. This summer, actually, we're gonna have to do a deep dive on him. I don't know. I don't know. That's it. That's my analysis of this game. Where's Mason Smith in this game? Where are all these stud defensive front seven players that I hear all this stuff about for LSU? How do you let Judkins, who's 19 years old, run up for 177 yards on you? All right, Oklahoma, Iowa State. Oklahoma, I've crapped on Oklahoma's offense for a long, long time on this channel. I don't believe in Dylan Gabriel. I think the offense is not as good as it should be. But this offense, it looked good today. Again, is Iowa State cream of the crop? No, they're kind of having a down year this year. But still, they look good. So I'm gonna give them a little raise. Good for them. There's your kudos. I don't really see any NFL prospects that like jump out at me. Even Dylan Gabriel, I'm not a big fan of his size. His I don't know. I just don't really like Dylan Gabriel. It doesn't seem like he really reads the field. He's always looking one way. That's it. Okay, I'm not gonna harp on the Dylan Gabriel Oklahoma thing. They're fine. Okay. Tennessee plays South Carolina. I was really disappointed with this because I was thinking this is a prime Spencer Rattler game where he's just gonna come out and you're like, what the heck? And he didn't. He didn't. But Joe Milton looked okay. Basically, Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright is Jalen. Yeah, Jalen Wright played dominantly on the ground. Joe Milton got it done through the air as much as he needed to. That's it. Just South Carolina's offense couldn't really do anything, and at that point of the game, it's over. Missouri played Vanderbilt. This is a tough Vanderbilt team. Missouri beat Kansas State. Now they're 5-0. This Missouri offense is not terrible. Again, Brady Cook just is kind of just like an old school gunslinger. So you'll have games where he throws 3 interceptions, but then you'll have games like this, and then you've got Luther Burden the third at wide receiver. Had a heck of a day. Good for him. And then this Fresno State Nevada game, I only got to watch a little bit of it. I had to drive my wife and her friend to a bar, and so I was trying to watch it at the bar, but yeah, I don't really have anything to say about it. Mikey Keene, I just always root for him because he was at UCF, but that's basically it. All right, let's get into some other games. I didn't get to watch all that one, and I wasn't going to go back to watch Nevada versus Fresno State, so sorry if you were excited for that. This Austin Reed, this is the 30-year-old quarterback, I think. He transferred to Western Kentucky from, I don't know, North Florida, maybe? North Texas? I don't remember exactly where he came from. Tulsa. No, don't have anything. Let's see if something pops out. This Brennan Armstrong dude, he got benched in this game where they lost to Louisville. And if they didn't start him and they started the MJ Murphy, I think is the guy's name, MJ Murray, dude, they probably win this game. I think he's starting next week too instead of Brennan Armstrong. Good. He had one good year at Virginia and that's it. Out of the 5, this is his fifth year he's playing. He's had one good year in college. So, good for them for benching him. Cincinnati, Emory Jones is going to be he's a guy who he could go to the Baltimore to be a backup for them. It's kind of the same thing they did with like Anthony Brown and Tyler Huntley. Or he could go to the XFL, whatever the XFL USFL thing is that they're going to combine, and he could be really dominant there. So I'm rooting for Emory Jones. He seems like a nice guy. He had a decent game this game and just sadly couldn't beat BYU. The UCF Baylor game, I don't want to harp on this one too much. I went to the game. I have season tickets to the UCF game, so I went to this game, and they were up 35-7 halfway through the third quarter We were at 35-7. One, the students didn't show up, which it's the home opener to the Big 12 game. Why'd the student section not fill up? How do you not fill up a student section? It's free. They were all at the tailgate. I watched. I went down Memory Mall, which is where they do the tailgating, and I couldn't move. That's how many people were there. They end up not showing up, but it doesn't matter. UCF is killing them, and it's 28-7 at halftime, and the rest of the students just leave because they just assume that they won, right? So it goes to 35-7. We've got 20% of our student section filled, which is both of the end zones are the student section. So when Baylor's down there inside the 10, the students are yelling at him. It's awesome. Not when you've got 15 students trying to yell at him in the end zone. It was empty, despicable. The coaching, the play calling got soft. Decided to go and stop running the ball. UCF linebackers are also terrible. But again, Dave Aranda made a bunch of adjustments, and took away all the throws that Timmy McClain, the quarterback for UCF, wanted to do. So again, I talked big on Dave Aranda. I told you 1-3 Baylor is not as bad as everyone thinks. They got Shapen back. This team's ready to roll. Are they going to go from 1-3 to 7-5? Is that possible? I think so. I think this team's about to go on a tear. I don't know who they have. I haven't looked it up. But this team's got heart and is coached by a really good coach. So, all right, we've talked about these games. Texas A&M, Arkansas. This Arkansas team is so disappointing. So disappointing. I'm done with them, dude. I'm done watching this Arkansas team because they disappoint me every single time. Max Johnson came in for Texas A&M because obviously we talked about it last week. Connor Wegman is out for the season. Max Johnson comes in, transfer from LSU, and he does enough. Relies on the run game, distributes the ball to your playmakers. Again, you got Evan Stewart, a 5-star. You got Anais Smith, who's a 7th-year senior, who's a running back, wide receiver, slot, gadget guy, hybrid. Just get it to your boys, and that's all. That's what he did. Defense did enough against a soft Kansas team. Soft Arkansas team. Excuse me. And Texas A&M gets the win. Good for Texas A&M. Louisiana loses to Minnesota. Tyler Nubin, the safety, probably played well in this game. I didn't watch it. I don't know who this is. Zach Evans. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch that game, so I don't know why I'm looking at it so deeply. I was just curious about it. Oh, Clemson versus Syracuse. I'm telling you, Clemson's doing things right now. This Clemson team is not the same Clemson team you saw week 1 and week 2. This is a good Clemson team. You're gonna blink and look up, and they're gonna be 10-2, 9-3 in the ACC championship game against Florida State, getting a rematch. Like that is possible. Again, they have to beat Miami, and Miami has to kind of fall off, but that is possible. Tulane, Michael Pratt, is he playing yet? This Tulane team won. Michael Pratt is playing. Yeah, I didn't get to watch the game, but I was just curious to see if Michael Pratt was playing. And it looks like he is. That's another intriguing quarterback prospect. That's probably a mid-round guy. So we'll have to do – I want to do a deep dive on him because I think I kind of like him a little bit. Let's find another one. Maryland. Tagovailoa, he's, again, not as accurate as his brother, but he's got a better arm than his brother. He's bigger body than his brother, than Tua. That's an NFL guy, I think. There's things that have to be kind of touched up with him, but that's an NFL guy. I probably don't have anything else. I'm trying to remember if I watched any of these games coming up. Again, a lot of my day was taken up having to sit in the sun watching that disgusting UCF game. Iowa, they hit 26. Poor Nathaniel Carter, the running back at Michigan State, is doing all he can, and this team is trash. This team's so god awful. He transferred from UConn. I'm gonna stick up for my boy. He transferred from UConn to Michigan State, thinking I'm gonna turn into Ken Walker. What they did with Ken Walker, and this team is god awful around him. Good thing Keon Coleman got out of there whenever he could, the wide receiver, because god dang man, that team's awful. Iowa's 4-1. Defense still looks good. They scored 26 points. I think they're still averaging like 18 or 19 points a game. So that offensive coordinator might get fired still. Pitt, Virginia Tech. Phil Jerkovich also sucks. I'd never want to watch a Pitt game, so I didn't watch this one. Good for Virginia Tech for winning, though. Yeah, that's it. I didn't watch any of these games. So appreciate you guys stopping by. I keep saying that we're going to evaluate the NFL weekend, and I'm just busy right now, obviously, coaching JV and varsity football, so the back end of my week is very crowded. And then, of course, I got family stuff I'm doing. But don't blink now. We might. Here's what I'm hoping to do the rest of this week. Tomorrow, NFL breakdown of the week, just doing a little recap. Then, hopefully on Thursday, we can do an NFL power ranking update video, which that one will be quick. And then on Friday, do the, what is it called? College football rankings. Do my top 25 college football rankings, because I know you guys love seeing that. So appreciate you guys stopping by. Go ahead and subscribe if you enjoyed. Leave a like. Put down in the comment section if you watched a specific game this weekend that you enjoyed, if there's NFL prospects that I haven't covered yet that you think I should take a look at, or if you had to sit through that UCF Baylor game and feel like crap like I did because you were rooting for UCF. Have a good day. Peace.